Hello and welcome to another Cactus Hill adventure. Today we're finishing off Reds Canyon Loop with part 3. Hopefully you've watched part 1 and 2 already. There was the approximate start of part 2, and here is the approximate start of part 3. At about 5 minutes in the video, we'll show you the where Hidden Splendor Trail starts. And as always, you can access this from Temple Mountain Road from the south and the north. Here's a few shots you're going to see as we go through the video. We encounter a couple of iron horses on this trail, as you can see there. And we also encounter some wild horses on the trail. So those will be later in the video. So here we are starting part 3 of Reds Canyon Loop. Here we are climbing out of the canyon. The road's a little rocky in this spot, but it's fairly good. We're going to see a little bit of shelf road action coming up. I mentioned it in part 2 that I'm not a big fan, but this one I could see in advance and I was kind of prepared. But you noticed I'm hugging the left side of the road quite a bit. But anyway, got some great comments on people dislike or like of shelf roads, so I know I'm not alone in being intimidated by them. As you can see, it's a beautiful day, blue skies, wispy clouds. And since I just mentioned the weather, it's a good time to let you know, and if you've watched any of my other videos, I'm a stickler for paying attention to the weather forecasts in the area you're going to be and in the surrounding area where you'll be, because flash floods in south central Utah could come upon you. The storm could be a few miles away and you could experience it right where you're at. Here we're going to get a glimpse of Reds Canyon. As we continue to go up in elevation and up to the plateau. I guess technically we're on McKay Flat Road. I found that out when I was doing my research for part 3. I'll tell you more about that in a little bit, but here we come upon a youth group who's doing some backpacking. Obviously have enough gear to camp overnight. We slowed down, waved at them. Didn't get a lot of response, a little bit, but if anybody happens to watch the video and you were in this group, tell us a little bit about it, or if you know about it, we'd appreciate it. Just kind of curious. Here we get another glimpse of Reds Canyon as we continue an elevation climb up onto the plateau. As I started to mention before we ran into the youth group, that the actual start of McKay Flat Road is down by Thompson's Butte and Hondu Arch Road that cuts off there at the corner, kind of the apex of that corner. I've seen maps where they're calling McKay Flat Road starting where we kind of run into, we're at the other corner where we're at Hidden Splendor. So not quite sure, but Anyway, all of it is part of Reds Canyon Loop. So here we're going to come up on where Hidden Splendor crosses this trail, right at this little intersection here. And that's, again, it's kind of confusing as to where exactly McKay Flat Road starts. I got a little explanation here, but again, it's all in Reds Canyon Loop, so one half dozen of the other, sort of. Here we show a map of the area. Apparently it starts at the apex there at Tomsitch Butte. But again, not sure exactly where McKay Flat Road starts. Here we encounter a couple of motorcycles. I pull over, I saw them in my rearview mirror. I think they came from Hidden Splendor, but not sure. But I always like to kind of slow down for open wheel vehicles, ATVs, obviously motorcycles, horseback riders, bicyclers. Try to keep the dust cloud down. So we let them get well ahead of us, and here we're going to start again. As you can see, the road's pretty good. There's a few rocky spots. It's not quite as scenic as being in the canyon, but it's a nice trail. See some views there, the San Rafael Swell. Coming up a little bit, we have a similar experience with an insect that we had in the Taste of Henry Mountains. We startled one in the road and it kind of flew up towards us. Fortunately, it didn't become part of our windshield, but I'm going to show it frame by frame here in a second. There it is. Comes up close to the windshield, does a somersault, and over the roof. My wife says it's a tarantula hawk wasp. And apparently from my research, they have a real nasty sting. So stay clear of one if you see it. Here we came upon a couple of wild horses. So we slowed down to take a look at these guys and take a few pictures. Didn't try to approach them. Here's a few pictures of them. They look to be doing fine. There are some antelope herds in this area. We didn't see any this trip, but we've seen them in this area before. So that's the only wildlife we saw, was the insect and the horses. So anyway, here's we continue on, and we come to a trail that goes off to the right, Baptist Draw Overlook, which actually goes into the Little Ocean Draw Wilderness area. And here's a picture of the entrance to the trail. I wouldn't have gone on it that day, look at the weather, but this is courtesy of trailsoffroad.com. And what I understand in my research is that this is a canyoneering area. You can see the darker green trail to the right, and our road kind of intersects it, or it's the way you access it. So anyway, here we go. There's a glimpse of Family Butte. Another look at it. That was in part 1 and also in the Temple Mountain Road video. Here we slow down a bit and we're getting to the intersection where Reds Canyon Loop Trail starts and McKay Flat Road turns to the right and continues on and intersects with Temple Mountain Road. I think the next time we travel this area, we're going to come this way on McKay Flat and enter the canyon in the south end and go from that area, and then we'll see Thompson's Butte and the mine there, and then take a little more time on the road and explore a little more. And that's where we are there on the map. It's basically back where we started from. And remember, as I always say, you won't know if you don't go. Thanks for viewing our video. Take care and be safe out there.